Hey guys, Enzo Flojo here, and this is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast, the only show that brings you the latest scoop on everything basketball here in the Philippines. Whether you're a diehard fan, a casual observer, or just looking for some good old-fashioned hoop talk, you've come to the right place. So whether you're a fan of the PBA, the UAAP, the NCAA, Gilas, or any other league in the Philippines, we've got you covered. And if you're just discovering the exciting world of Philippine basketball, we're here to guide you through every dunk, crossover, three-pointer, and controversial college transfer. So get ready to be entertained, informed, and inspired as we delve into the world of Philippine basketball. This is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. Let's talk some hoops. Hey guys, Enzo Flo here again, and this is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. This is part 3 of a pretty long recording I did the morning after the FIBA Basketball World Cup draw that was held here in Manila at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Really good event, and I talked about how good the actual event was in the first part. In the second part, yesterday, I talked about the draw itself and the 8 different groups. I talked about which group was maybe the group of death, which was maybe the weakest group, tried to predict who the top 8 teams are going to be, who the top 4 teams are going to be, and who are the teams that are going to play it out in the finals of the FIBA Basketball World Cup. For today's episode, we'll talk about the chances of our home team in the Philippines, Gilas Pilipinas, to advance past Group A in the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup. And of course, we're going to try to look at some stats, maybe spotlight some fan reactions and things like that. Okay, so first, where was Gilas grouped after the draw? As of this recording, the draw was when you're seeing this already, the draw happened a couple of nights ago already. So the draw went this way. Okay, so Group A is where the Philippines was pre-allocated. We actually chose to be in Group A. We're gonna play our group games in the Smart Araneta Coliseum in Quezon City. And we were grouped with Angola from the Africa subzone, Dominican Republic from the FIBA Americas subzone, and Italy from the Eurobasket or European subzone as well. And then you have the other 7 groups. You have Group B also playing in Araneta. You have Group C and D playing in the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay. You have Groups E and F playing in the Okinawa Arena in Okinawa, Japan. And then you have Groups G and H playing in the Indonesia Arena in Jakarta. Medyo na-distract ako sa mga trending dito sa kanan. I'm not sure why these are trending right now as of this recording. But anyway, let's spotlight some fan reactions. Okay? Dito, who do you think is best suits as our head coach for this event? Well, right now, I'm just hoping for stability for the team. So whoever is our head coach right now, that's Coach Chot, I hope we don't change that anymore. Let's just ride the wave and see where it goes as we play at the World Cup later this year. Francis de Ungria says, Lebanon and Japan got very unlucky with a draw. I don't see them winning a game in the preliminary round, to be honest. It's very possible for Lebanon. For Japan, actually, at full strength, and I talked about this in yesterday's episode, I think they have a chance. I actually picked them to advance in Group E. Okay? Schwep D says, based on star value alone, it would seem that we got a good draw, but we still have to send our best team and set aside sports politics muna. Oloyski says, I think it's China or the Philippines that will get the Olympics slot. And I want to talk about it very, very briefly because remember, of course, we want to advance as far as possible in this tournament. But the bigger objective, at least again, I think for all the Asian teams here, the main objective or the biggest objective is to qualify for the Olympics. And how do we do that? If we advance to the second round, and if no other teams from Asia advance, then we get that spot already. Okay? China has a fair chance of advancing if they can beat South Sudan and Puerto Rico. It's not impossible. Actually, they might do it, especially because Kyle Anderson will play for China, the World Cup. Jordan's not going to advance, but in Group C, I'm pretty sure. Japan has a chance actually in Group E. Actually picked them to advance. Group F, no Asian team there. Iran is not going to advance in Group G, and I don't think Lebanon's going to advance in Group H. So it's going to be, I think, a toss-up among Philippines, China, and Japan for that outright Asian Olympics slot out of the World Cup. All right. So a lot of other comments here. I'm not going to focus on them, but so many interesting comments right here from Lemonade. I love Gilas with all of my basketball fan heart, but as far as preparation is concerned, I don't think we can win a single game. Well, we haven't started preparing for the World Cup yet. But remember, we have a huge window, no PBA games, no UAP games between now and the World Cup. So it's wide open for preparation. After the SEA Games, puro preparation, and that's what I expect, at least. So I'm expecting multiple practices per week, pocket tournament, maybe at least 2 or 3 before the actual FIBA Basketball World Cup. All right. Now let's look at our opponents. Now we have Angola, Dominican Republic, Philippines, that's us, and we have Italy. First is Angola. Okay. Now, unless you're a big fan of international basketball, you won't really know many of these names. In fact, many of the names from the 2019 FIBA Basketball World Cup Angola team are probably not going to be here, okay, in Manila. At least I don't expect many of these guys to be here in Manila. All right. Their version of Kevin Durant, no, Yannick Moreira, he didn't even play, I think, in any qualifiers game. I'm not sure if he'll play. Their veteran, Carlos Morais, is not going to play. Lionel Paulo, one of their bruisers, not going to play. I think it'll be probably Reggie Moore's not going to play also. I think Hershon Domingos will probably play for them. Hershon Goncalves will probably play as well. Okay, those are the guys I think who will be leading this Angolan team, no? This time around. So these guys right here, Hershon Goncalves, I think is going to be one of their main guys, and probably these guys right here, no? Childe Dundao, Islando Manuel, and Bruno Fernando, Gilson Bango as well. I think these are the guys to watch. I'm sure Coach Chot and his scouting staff are going to study these guys really, really well. But I think this team is going to be a bit tougher than the other team we could have had, no, which was Cote d'Ivoire. Although Cote d'Ivoire actually had a better record in their group, no? In the AfroBasket, as you see here. All right. Okay, so there you go. So Angola is going to be pretty interesting. We should be favored against Angola. We narrowly lost to them in overtime back in 2019. If you remember that game. Okay. We just lost to them by 3 in overtime in a game where we actually had a bit of a lead in the fourth quarter, but we weren't able to get it done. Okay. So now I think it's payback time for the Philippines, and I think we're gonna beat them. Okay. Next up is Dominican Republic. If you look at the roster from the World Cup qualifiers, maybe the only familiar one would be Chris Duarte right here. Okay, and I expect him to play for Dominican Republic in the World Cup. Dominican Republic actually has at least around 4 or 5 NBA players, and I expect all of them to play, no, in the World Cup. You have Chris Duarte, okay, who plays for the Indiana Pacers, of course. Of course, we all know Big Al from Boston. Al Horford, I think, is in his 4th. Let's see how old Al is. 36 pa lang naman. So, I think he'll play. Yeah. And the matchup between him and Abay Junmar Fajardo, I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Neither of them are very athletic at this point in their lives, pero they're very, very savvy, high basketball IQ players. That's going to be interesting. Justin Minaya from Portland, probably going to play as well. Lester Quinones Okay, probably going to play as well. Plays for Golden State, and the guy, the biggest star, of course, is Karl Anthony Towns. He's played for Dominican Republic before, and I think he's going to play again. Obviously, Minnesota is already out of the picture in the playoffs, so he has all the time to recover, rest, train, practice, get ready for the FIBA Basketball World Cup, and it's going to be interesting to see. Dominican Republic is going to be tough. If all 5 of these NBA players show up, and for us, if only just Jordan Clarkson shows up, then, I mean, ang puhunan lang natin against Dominican Republic will be our home court advantage, Jordan Clarkson, and maybe, the element of surprise, so to speak. But it's going to be a tough game. But still, I have faith that we can spring an upset. And if there's a team we can upset, it should be Dominican Republic. Probably not the next team in our group, which is Italy. Okay, now Italy, look at the results from Eurobasket. They lost to the Netherlands, lost to Iceland as well, but they rallied. They beat Iceland, beat Netherlands, beat Ukraine, beat Georgia. They lost to Spain only by 4 points. They narrowly beat Georgia again, and then they finished off their qualifiers by beating Ukraine and finally beating Spain as well. And this team, they can field, I think, 5 NBA players. Obviously, Simon Fontecchio is right there. He's 6'8", going to play a big man role for this team, and he's going to be one of their main guys. Fontecchio, of course, plays for the Utah Jazz. Aside from him, the guy I hope to see here is, of course, Paolo Banchero from the Orlando Magic. I don't think he's ever played at the FIBA tournament. Okay, I'd have to verify that. But I'm confident he's going to play for Italy, and that front line of Banchero, Fontecchio, that's going to be really tough for our own front line. Right? Danilo Gallinari, I'm not sure he's still injured right now. But if he plays, that's another tough guy to match up against. Their other familiar names, Marco Bellinelli, already 37. Luigi Datome, already 35. I'm not sure they're going to play. Maybe Gigi will play. Certainly Bargnani and Bellinelli, I don't expect them to play. They're both already 37. Ryan Arcidiacono, former NBA player. It says here he does not officially hold Italian citizenship, so I don't think he'll be cleared to play just yet. But some other marquee names, you have Nico Mannion right here. So these are the guys to watch. And obviously this is going to be a tough team to go up against, no matter what. Some other familiar names here are Tessitore and Spizu as well. So this is going to be a very, very tough team. And they're going to be the favorites in Group A. Okay, so I think Italy is going to sweep Group A. If we have a good series of games against Dominican Republic and Angola, we can beat them. Okay, but who can be on our team anyway? For the Philippines, so many guys, right? So for me, honestly, I want to see Kai there. Obviously, Jordan Clarkson. And if Clarkson's there, we can't have Brownlee anymore. Okay? I'm not sure about Gio. I love Gio. I coached Gio in high school. But I think there might be some other big guys ahead of him in the pecking order if we're all healthy and complete. Okay? In particular, I want to see Junmar. I want to see Japeth. I want to see AJ Edu as well. Again, assuming they're all healthy. Okay? For our guards, obviously, I want to see Scotty Thompson there. Aside from Jordan Clarkson, Dwight, I'm not counting as a guard. I'm counting him as a wingman. First, let's do the guards first. So it's Jordan Clarkson for our guards. We're going to pick 4 bigs. 4 bigs, that's going to be Kai, AJ, Junmar, Japeth for me as our 4 bigs. Okay? Our 4 guards, in my book, that's going to be Jordan Clarkson, Scotty Thompson. That's tough. I want to say CJ Perez is going to be there. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Pogoy can be counted as a guard, maybe a wingman. No? So honestly, I want to see RJ Abarientos there. If I'm being completely honest, no? Because we need a ball handler who can shoot as well. And situationally, we need someone who's not afraid to take a shot. let's say in certain after timeout or late game situations, no, or late quarter situations. And RJ has never met a shot that he doesn't like. So I think RJ Abarientos would actually be good. So my guards are Clarkson, CJ Perez, Scotty, and RJ Abarientos. My wingmen, that's gonna be a little tougher to see what the wingmen are. No, I actually want Carl Tamaya. I'm gonna count Carl as a wingman, and then parang insurance na rin in case a big man gets injured. May Carl Tamaya tayong pangpalit. Carl, Dwight, obviously. Bobby Parks, actually. Bobby Ray Parks. No? For me, those three are favorites to be there. So, Carl, Ray Parks, Dwight, Ramos, and my last should be a shooter. So, it's either Marshall or Pogoy. I'd probably pick Marshall as the last shooter. I don't think he played in any qualifiers game, Marshall. Probably. Parang hindi, no? But again, I just think that Marshall might be a bit ahead of Pogoy in the pecking order. So if I were gonna pick my final 12 for Gilas, it would be for bigs. Kai Soto, AJ Edu, Junmar Fajardo, Japet Aguilar. For my wings, I'd have Dwight Ramos, Ray Parks, Carl Tabayo, Marshall Lassiter. For my guards, I'd have Jordan Clarkson, Scotty Thompson, CJ Perez, and RJ Abarientos. It's going to be like my wild card pick for that. But again, this is way too early. Anything can happen. Knock on wood, some health issues, injury issues might pop up, but hopefully not, diba? Definitely we cannot have Clarkson with Brownlee. Definitely we cannot have Clarkson with Kwame. That's just not going to happen, okay? I'm not sure if, let's say, Remy Martin is eligible as a local. I've read somewhere maybe he is, so he could be another option as a guard, but we'll see. Okay, we'll see. But so far, based on current information, at this point in time, 3 months away, about 4 months away from the World Cup, that's my 12 right there. Okay, Kai, AJ, Junmar, Japeth, Dwight, Carl, Parks, Lassiter, Clarkson, Scotty, CJ Perez, and RJ Abarientos. Okay, what do you guys think? Is that too slow, too fat, too slow, too small, too inexperienced, too old? What do you guys think? Comment down below if you guys think Gilas can advance. Comment down below on whom you think should be in that World Cup roster. Maybe I missed someone. I think probably I missed someone actually. So we'll see. But if you liked this content, then I hope you guys continue listening to this podcast. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you're on Spotify, please subscribe as well. As always, we're going to spotlight fan comments as much as we can because we love that engagement. We value your insights. Our next episode drops tomorrow. We're going to focus a little bit on some college teams because the Pinoy Legal Cup is ongoing, and then we're going to focus on the SEA Games, Gilas Men, Gilas Women, Gilas 3x3 preparations as well. So watch out for that. As always, mabuhay ang Philippine basketball. Okay? Pop the Pilipinas. Mabuhay tayong lahat. Again, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed creating it. So don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, feel free to leave a comment because we love that engagement. And who knows, maybe your comment might be featured next. You can also read my stuff on clutchpoints.com, Tiebreaker Times, and of course, FIBA Basketball. Follow me on Twitter at Hoopnut or Instagram at The Hoopnut for more content and updates. Until next time, keep betting on yourself, shooting your shot, and seizing the moment. Mabuhay ang Philippine basketball.